represento a Shazam en España y en Portugal. Y bueno, primero, muchas gracias por venir. Creo que es la primera vez que como Shazam organizamos un evento de estas características. Queremos que nos conozcáis un poco mejor. Ya hemos estado hablando con alguno de vosotros y surgen preguntas lógicas que claro, que nosotros no nos damos cuenta, pero tenéis toda la razón. Entonces es como nuestra presentación en sociedad. Así que, una vez más, muchas gracias por venir. Lo que vamos a hacer hoy es una presentación que correrá a cargo de mi compañero Josh. Josh Partridge es el responsable de publicidad de Shazam para todo el mundo, menos dos áreas que están separadas, que son el área asiática y Estados Unidos, ¿vale? Todo el resto lo lleva él. Lleva EMEA, lleva LATAM y lleva Canadá. No duerme mucho, imaginaros. Pasa mucho tiempo en un avión. Pero bueno, Shazam en realidad es una startup todavía. Somos pequeños, no somos un gran monstruo, pero sobre todo nos dedicamos al mundo del descubrimiento de la música. Muchos dicen que, coño, que es mágico, ¿no? Darle al botón y descubrir qué música es. Pero bueno, la presentación va a ser en inglés. Le he dicho a Josh que lo haga despacio, porque incluso yo no lo entiendo. Él a veces tampoco se entiende a sí mismo. Pero si tenéis algún problema o sea, nos paráis, ¿vale? Y si veo que se acelera, le pararé yo. O sea que no os preocupéis. Y al final de la sesión pues tenemos preguntas o lo que os apetezca, ¿vale? Así que nada, muchas gracias y empezamos. Josh.
Good morning, thanks Roberto. I think what Roberto said there, which I understood, was if you don't understand me, please let me know. I will do my best to not speed up. But yeah, any questions, please interrupt me. No problems with that. But really, it is a pleasure to be here in Madrid today. Spain for Shazam is a very, very important market, both from our users, but also it's one of the markets that we've seen as being huge early adapters of smartphones and very much early adapters of Shazam. So it's a fantastic market that we're in. And really what I wanted to do today is really introduce you to Shazam, for those of you who haven't used it, but then also importantly talk about some of the things that we're working on, new things that we're really excited about. But before I do that, we put together a video that really highlighted last year for us. Last year was very important for two key reasons. We hit our 500 millionth download and we hit 100 million monthly active users. And from a digital point of view, there's sort of two huge milestones. And for a company that really is a mobile-first company, we're one of the very first mobile-only companies to hit that 100 million user mark, which is something that we're very proud of. So we put together this short video to talk about all the things we're doing in Shazam. So check it out.
Shazam, that's right, I said Shazam. Amazing.
I think it's really important after you watch a video like that to actually start to think about where we came from. So back in 2002, we had 4 MBA graduates who really wanted to sort of really do something very innovative in the smartphone and the mobile market. And they created this product called Shazam that originally was an SMS service. So what you got with your Nokia phone, you would text 2580, you'd hold it up to a speaker, and Shazam would then recognize the song, and then importantly allow you then to buy the ringtone. And this is when ringtones were very, very cool. So that was really where Shazam started. And then clearly when the iPhone launched in 2007, and then the App Store launched soon after that, that really Shazam then became known as an app, and certainly one of the very, very first apps to enter the App Store. So we've come a long way. And if you think about what Shazam actually looks like today, again, it's certainly come a long way. I think this has really been driven a lot by the smartphone becoming a very, very powerful tool. It's as powerful as most laptops today. And so really from a publisher's point of view, we can create a really, really unique experience, a very rich experience, and really give consumers a fantastic tool they can use in their everyday life. As I said, last year was really, really important for us. We hit the 100 million monthly active users mark. We hit 500 million downloads, and today already we're nearly about to hit the 700 million. So we've seen huge growth continuing, and we get downloaded about between 15 and 20 million times every month around the world, and we have users now in over 200 countries. And as Roberto said earlier, I cover a whole vast region of the world, and the really surprising thing for me is no matter where I go, we have a huge number of Shazam users. I even had a call last week in the Middle East for Shazam users in Iraq and Lebanon, all these very faraway places, but the beauty of Shazam is music is universal, and so very much Shazam is considered very much a universal product, which is very exciting for us. In terms of Spain, which is also very relevant to this audience, we also have a huge audience here, making Spain one of our biggest countries in the world. We just recently hit the 29 million user mark. We have about 5.5 million monthly active users and growing, and we have about 1 million new Shazammers every month. And considering Spain has one of the highest smartphone penetrations in Europe, we continue to still see significant growth, which is very, very encouraging. If you think about the demographics of our users, I think most people would presume our users are between sort of 18 and 24. But what you can see is our demographic is quite broad. And there's a couple of reasons for that. We're obviously downloaded on a lot of phones, and our smartphone penetration is very large. Here in Spain, everyone has a smartphone, so that demographic is very, very broad. But also music. Everybody loves music, and everyone loves to discover music. So you can see really our audience is very much split between the 18 and almost 50 age group is where most of our users sit, which is great. But I think really the really positive thing for us is we've seen huge and continued growth here in Spain from a total user point of view, but also from a monthly active users. And considering that smartphone penetration in Spain is, depending on who you listen to, anywhere between 70 and 80%, to still see such strong growth is very, very encouraging for us. It's something we're very, very proud of. In terms of how Shazam stacks up against all the other apps that are probably on your phone, so we come in around about number 13 in terms of global apps. Obviously Facebook is at number 1, but most of the apps ahead of us are either owned by Facebook, Yahoo or Google. And considering those companies have thousands, if not tens of thousands of employees, and Shazam has 275, give or take a few people, we're incredibly proud to be one of those major apps in the world, and this is something that really keeps us vibrant and growing, which is great. But I think really, if we look at what's been a key driver in our user growth, I think it has really got to be that people love to use Shazam. And considering we're one of the very first apps in the App Store, to have one of the highest App Store rankings is something that we're very, very proud of, and it very much has fueled the user growth that we continue to see. And we have an average now of around about 4.6 to 4.8 likability, which is great. And if you think about using Shazam, generally when you use it, you want to find out something, you want to discover something. So not only are you actually discovering something, but you're doing something that a lot of people consider sort of magical, and that generally does put a smile on people's faces. So that's very much helped our user growth. But I think it's also important to talk about where Shazam came from. We were very much born from music, and we've become a really key part of the music ecosystem in terms of how people discover, and then very much importantly, buy music. And if you think about how Shazam users use it, they hear a song that they like, and then they have the option to either buy it or stream it. And so we have incredibly great relationships with the traditional download stores like obviously iTunes, which was the first, and then Amazon and Google Play. But obviously as consumers' music habits have slightly changed, streaming partners like Deezer and Spotify and a few other providers around the world have also become very, very important partners for us. And our strategy is very, very simple. No matter how people want to listen to music, We are there to help them discover it, and then importantly then listen to it either on Spotify or they can download it on iTunes. And I think on the press release today, it gives you a bit of an idea about how many people are downloading songs every day in Shazam, which is a fantastic number and something we're very proud of. Sorry, clicked too early. But I think one of the other really important things that we work very closely with the record labels is help them to not only discover new artists, because generally when people start Shazamming an artist, it means that song is getting very, very popular. So the labels love to know that, so they can find out which artists are really trending and people are listening to. We've also become a fantastic tool for record labels to think about new and innovative ways to actually find out, how people are interested in music. An example here we have here is for an artist called Demi Lovato. And what Demi Lovato wanted to do, she wanted to plan her world tour. Okay? And normally when you plan a tour, you look at all the sort of regular places that you go and play, and you book these out, and people come and see you perform. But what she wanted to do was actually find out where are my fans, my #1 fans based. So what she did, she used social media to tell her fan base, over the next 24 hours, I want you to Shazam my music. And what I'll do, after that, I'll get all that information, plot each of those Shazams on a map to find out where my biggest number of fans are. And this is what she did, so check it out.
All of my European melodics. I need your help booking my next tour. The way it works is really simple. The next time you hear my single, Neon Lights, pull out the phone and Shazam the track. From there, we're going to take all of the information to plan my 2014 European tour around who's tagging my music the most. This is the first time this has ever been done, so join me in making history.
Beats in my heart 'cause it's freaking out.
So it's a fantastic idea. It's a great way to get the consumers to engage and Shazam her music, but importantly from a business decision, it allowed her to understand where her fan base are. And so what we did, as I said, people Shazam that particular song, and then we plotted each of those Shazams on a map so she could find out where most of her fans are based, and then she went ahead and booked her concert. So it's a fantastic idea. And another really great example about using social media to get a great message to your fan base, but then giving them a way to actually connect and put their hand up and say, hey, I'm a big fan, or come and play in my town or my city. So that really, I think this is a great example of Shazam really being very close to the music industry, but really where we see the continued evolution of Shazam is actually starting to connect more than to just music. And some of the things I'm going to talk about now is showing you how we're making that evolution. Now, I think if most of us look at how we interact with TV today, we very much sit in front of the TV and we generally have either a tablet or a smartphone in our hand. And this is an evolution that we've seen over the last couple of years. And depending on which country you look at, a lot of Google studies show that in between 60 and 80% of us sit in front of the TV with a smartphone in our hand. And what we also started to notice over the time as well is that huge numbers of our Shazams were actually coming from TV, and also huge numbers of those Shazams were coming principally from TV advertising. And these are just a handful of TV ads that we actually monitored to see how many people were Shazamming them. Now, it's a very, very broad array of advertisers here, but what you can see is each one of those advertisers in these TV spots had music as the center of their message. And so you can see that, from Marks & Spencer with Chanel, we had anywhere between 20, 30, 40,000 Shazams, up to 500,000 Shazams coming from TV advertising. And a great case study showing how this actually works is last year Marks & Spencer teamed up with a band called Clean Bandit. Clean Bandit music was very much the center of their TV campaigns. And you can see, up until the TV spot started, we were seeing about 1,000 Shazams a day. People Shazamming in the radio, when they're out with friends in a nightclub or a pub. When they actually launched the song as part of the TV event, we saw the number of Shazams quadruple instantly. And you can see this particular date here is when the TV spot started, and you can see we generated just under 4,000 Shazams, almost 3,000 more than the day before. And then you can see the peaks and troughs of the TV commercials. So this is really a consumer habit that we really started to notice over the last 2 to 3 years, and really has evolved our consumer offering to more than just Shazam Music, but also Shazam TV. And this is very much how the stepping stones of the product that we now call Shazam TV was very much discovered. And so the theory of it is very, very clear. People are Shazamming the TV and Shazamming the music. We really wanted to give the brands the ability to actually give consumers the chance to connect with them also in a TV spot. And the theory of it is very, very simple. Just like music, we ingest any sort of audio, TV commercial audio, into our database, and then when you Shazam it, Shazam recognizes it and then drives consumers to a branded experience. And an example we've got here for you today is a campaign for Jaguar. That 20-second ad spot is very, very short. Consumers who are interested in the car really can't find out too much about the car. So what we did was we Shazam enabled the TV ad to give people who are interested in Jaguar the chance to take a next step with the brand and discover something more, and this is how it works. So you can see the Shazam logo on the bottom left of the TV ad. By Shazamming it, you get driven to this brand experience, and from there you can click onto the different tiles, move the phone around, have a look inside the car, check out different videos, check out different configurations of the car, really giving people who are interested in this car a chance to find out more. And it's very much the same as music. You hear a song that you like, you want to find out more about it, so you Shazam it. And this is very much the evolution that we've made now into TV advertising. But also this very much works for TV content as well, and you saw some of that in the video that we showed. So that has really been a key part of our evolution in the last 2 or 3 years. But I think in this particular space, in smartphones and digital, we have to continually evolve our product as consumer habits change as well. So what I wanted to do today was also talk about some of the recent innovations that we've done to show how we really wanted to continue to evolve our product. So the big one that happened last year was that Shazam was integrated into iOS 8 as part of their revamp of their Siri proposition. And so this was a very big deal for us because it meant that the Shazam technology was very much embedded into iOS 8. And so now you can say, hey Siri, what's that song? And then Shazam powers that result for Apple. So this is really something we're very, very proud of. And the great thing for us, it put Shazam on 800 million iPhones around the world, which is very much a very successful story for us. So this is a big announcement we had last year. As you can see, I'm wearing one, but the Apple Watch, which launched a couple of months ago in the US and the UK and I think in Australia. Again, Shazam was one of the first apps to be in the iWatch store. And this is again really, really a key partnership that we've launched as well. I think if I'm looking around the room here, I may be the only person with an Apple Watch on because I don't think it's launched here in Spain yet. But we're really interested to see how consumers actually react and use this new device. So this is again very, very exciting for us, but also continues the evolution of Shazam's strategy of being platform and device agnostic. No matter where our users are, no matter what devices they're using, we want them to use Shazam. And so, you know, we'll continue to make sure that our product is available at these different devices that are launching around the world. So Apple Watch, keep an eye on. I think it's launching in Spain in the next few months. The great news, we'll have some good lessons about what consumers are doing in the US and the UK and Australia over the next few months.
Germany and France too.
Is launched?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah. I can never work out what the decision is about when they launch things. Auto Shazam, again, was a new feature we launched in Shazam last year, and the whole concept of Auto Shazam is very much this always-on strategy. So let's just say you go out with your friends at night time, you're driving home in the car, you don't want to have to Shazam when you hear a song. What you can do is you can turn Shazam on, put your phone back in your pocket, and then Shazam will continue to listen and help you discover the music around you. Okay? And obviously, given we don't really encourage people to drive in Shazam, it's a great way to be able to connect to radio without actually having to Shazam whilst you're driving. So this is a very, very interesting product we launched last year. When we launched it on iOS, it stayed on for an hour. And considering now we've done a lot of product improvements particularly on iOS now, it stays on for up to 6 hours. And Android it's a little bit lower. But Auto Shazam is a feature we launched last year. And we're already seeing about 10 to 30% of our consumers using this on a regular basis. And one of the newest partnerships that we recently launched was last month with Google. On the same theory as Siri, now what you can do with the Google app is say, okay, Google, Shazam this. I think the really great thing for us in this particular story is that we've been considered a verb for Google now. So it's not what is this song, it's Shazam. So again, we're one of the very few companies that have now been deemed a verb now with both Apple, but also with Google as well. So again, it's something we're very, very proud of. And the really cool thing about the Google app is you don't actually have to touch the phone or touch the screen. It's all voice activated from the home screen. So you simply say, hey Google, or okay Google, Shazam this song, and then Google will automatically then open up Shazam and then deliver a music result. So this is one just launched last month. And I'm not sure if there's any Android users here, but I recommend downloading the Google app and trying it out. So it's pretty cool. Future innovations. And this is really the things that we're excited about. And we're in the process now of launching something that really is probably the biggest evolution from a product point of view since we became an app from an SMS function. And what we're launching now is a product called Visual Shazam. So if you think about the world around you, it's very audible, you can hear all the things around you, but clearly the world around you also is very, 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 very visual. And so we really see this as a great evolution of the Shazam product, and we're really, really proud of the capability that our consumers are going to be able to do to Shazam the world around them. So how does it work? I'm not sure if you've all downloaded the latest version of Shazam. I'll do a quick demo of how it works. So this is just an example of a front cover of a DVD case. Okay? And so what you simply do is open up Shazam, and you'll notice now there's a little camera on the top icon. Okay? So all you do is simply hit the icon, Shazam the image in front of you, that quick, and then you get driven to the experience that this particular product really wanted you to do. And for this example, actually, they wanted to drive consumers to the music that was part of the movie. And what you can see is it's amazingly fast technology. But what you'll be able to do with Visual Shazam is Shazam things like a print ad, out of home, anything that you can see, in theory, and also QR codes as well. So any QR code that is live today and out in the market, you can actually use Visual Shazam to connect to it. So you no longer have to download a specific app, the QR codes, you can just use Shazam to connect with that as well. So this is a really exciting product that we're launching. And some examples of how this can work is you're waiting for a bus, you see a traditional billboard there, and simply by visually Shazamming it, then you can watch the full trailer of a particular movie. Okay? So really it's enabling us to bring this traditional media that's not very interactive, it's not very engaging, to life through your smartphone. So this is really, really exciting. Another example is you're turning a page of a newspaper or a magazine, and simply by Shazamming that, you can also go inside and discover the car, very similar to the Jaguar example that I gave you as well. So this is really a huge step for us about giving our consumers more things to Shazam, which is really very much the centre of our strategy, but also allowing them to connect to this world around them that's very, very visual. So this is launching now. If you download the latest version of iOS and also on Android, you can start Visual Shazamming. So right now, as of today in Spain, you'll be able to Shazam obviously any QR code that's out there today, and then over the next couple of months we'll be launching some advertising, but also some consumer partnerships as well, so we can get consumers to start Shazamming these types of things. So very exciting. The next one, which is launching in September, is beacons. I'm not sure, has everyone heard of beacons? Beaconing? No? Let me explain what it is. A beacon is kind of like a Wi-Fi, right? You can't hear it, you can't see it, but your phone can detect it just like a Wi-Fi signal. And really the interesting thing about beacon is you can place a beacon, which looks very much like this very little device here, in this room, in a store, at a sporting event, at an outdoor event, in a park, at a beach, and your phone will be able to detect it. Okay? And how it actually works is it leverages Bluetooth technology. Okay, so when your Bluetooth is on, it can detect it, and then your phone can detect it, obviously, and then you can drive consumers to a certain event. So from a retailer point of view, if you're walking into a store, by Shazam in store, you can get 25% discount. Or you're watching Real Madrid at the Bernabeu, you can put beacons around that, and you can then give consumers the ability to Shazam and connect to whatever you're wanting to do. Essentially what we like to say is driving consumers from a physical world to a digital front door. And if you think about this concept that you may have been hearing recently called the Internet of Things, and this is really connecting the physical world with the digital world. And beaconing is going to be a fantastic tool to do that. The reason why beaconing is only really becoming an opportunity now is down to a couple of things. The biggest one really is people leaving Bluetooth on their phone turned on permanently. 2 years ago, nobody did it, and a couple of reasons for that. Probably the battery usage was a big issue, and also no one had a reason to leave Bluetooth turned on. But now most cars have Bluetooth in them. Headsets and speaker systems leverage Bluetooth technology, that we see huge numbers of our users leaving Bluetooth turned on permanently. And so now it's actually a scalable solution for marketeers and advertisers to actually start to leverage this new technology. So beaconing will be launching with Shazam in September, and we're very looking forward to see how that is going to be used for both marketeers, but also from a consumer offering as well. So we're excited about that one. So to sum up, really Shazam's strategy is to help our users to connect to this world around them. The world is very audible, but certainly the world is very visual as well. And so our real strategy is to put your smartphone and importantly Shazam at the center of this world and allow consumers to connect to the TV, to cinema, to visual, to TV spots, to content on TV, on radio and on cinema. And we're very much looking forward to rolling out this strategy here in Spain. So thank you. Any questions, please? Ask either Roberto or myself.
Gracias, Josh. Bueno, bienvenidos a los que habéis llegado luego. Por supuesto, abrimos el turno de preguntas.
¿En castellano?
Sí. ¿Castellano o en inglés? No, problema.
En la parte visual de integración de la cámara, cuando una empresa introduce su tag, ¿cómo funciona a nivel de negocio? Es decir, ¿se cobran a las empresas por introducir su etiqueta para poder reconocerla? ¿Lo hace Shazam automáticamente? ¿Cómo lo hace? ¿Hay un modelo de negocio? ¿Se va a dejar que los usuarios puedan meter sus propias etiquetas de reconocimiento? No sé exactamente si la pregunta tiene mucho sentido, pero...
Sí, lo tiene, claro, porque si no, no sabríamos cómo funciona. Es muy sencillo. Imagínate una campaña de una marca como Mercedes, que lo va a hacer en 2 o 3 revistas en exterior. Nosotros recogemos lo que es el arte final y le ponemos una capa invisible para que la cámara de Shazam lo pueda reconocer, ¿vale? O sea, no hay fallos. Es imposible que no lo reconozca. Es más, esta mañana estuve haciendo pruebas con un cartel bastante grande y con 1 centímetro de una esquina lo reconocía, porque la marca invisible está en todo el cartel o esa publicidad.
Preguntado de otra manera, ¿no hay reconocimiento, por ejemplo, de genéricos, una cara en una imagen o reconocer un paisaje o una forma?
No, solo códigos QR. O sea, los códigos QR lo reconocen.
No hay reconocimiento de imagen a nivel de formas, ni de colores, ni de...
Exacto.
Vale.
Y obviamente en ese reconocimiento de campaña tiene un coste. El coste es, digamos, de alguna forma la licencia de la tecnología de Shazam para que esa publicidad pueda vivir en el móvil una segunda experiencia. Esa es un poco la idea.
Vale.
Just explaining how it works in visual form.
I've got some examples over there that you can Shazam after and have a go. See what it's like.
Y tengo otra.
Sí.
Una cosa que echo de menos como usuario de Shazam, y que no sé si está integrado o no, a lo mejor lo está, pero no lo conozco, es el geoetiquetado de los Shazam. Cuando tú haces un Shazam, que haya una etiqueta con el código de las coordenadas GPS como parte de esa integración entre el mundo físico y el virtual. Lo digo porque muchas veces se hace un etiquetado de una canción y la información de dónde solamente la puedes sacar a través, creo, a través de compartir una red social y decir dónde estás, por ejemplo, pero no viene Creo que no viene en la parte GPS, a lo mejor viene, no lo sé.
Es una pregunta para él. He's talking about the geo, so when you Shazam something, it's not geo-localized, right?
So users choose yes or no to accept that. If it's no, if they say no, then no, we don't. If they say yes,
it's already in the application.
Exactly.
Tienes que irte a ajustes y decirle que sí a tu localización.
O sea, que está, pero
sí.
No vale.
I mean, the vast majority of users say yes to a lot of those types of things. And what it allows us to do is give much more localized content, which is a key part of it. But also, yeah, you can do some cool stuff to people are Shazamming.
O sea, tienes que irte a ajustes.
Vale, lo miro ahora.
Exacto. ¿Sí?
Sí, yo quería saber cómo se reparten los ingresos entre las distintas fuentes que tienen, que sería la parte de descargas o streaming y todas las acciones relacionadas con la publicidad.
She's asking about
I think I answered the question, yeah.
Okay.
So essentially we have sort of three revenue streams. We have our music business, which is the download and the streaming business, which is probably our oldest revenue stream. And then we have two other revenue streams. We have our in-app advertising. So when you use Shazam, you'll notice that some brands are there, so that's the second part. And then the third part is what we call sort of our second screen capability. So it's the visual Shazam, the Shazam for TV, it's working with content providers to Shazam enable those other types of things. So they're the three different revenue streams that we have.
¿Y cómo se reparte? ¿Cuál sería el porcentaje?
She's asking, can we talk about the percentage of each different?
Yeah, no, I mean we're a private company, so we don't disclose the breakup yet. But you can see that the first part is a pretty big piece for sure, but the other two are really growing very quickly. I think we want to hear them, we'll come to here.
Me gustaría saber cuál es la estrategia de Shazam para España, si se va a centrar en el negocio, en esa parte publicitaria de la que hablaban de segunda pantalla, o qué vais a hacer ahora que has llegado.
Sí, bueno, la estrategia publicitaria es clara, es decir, por un lado lo que hemos hecho es contratar a una compañía que se llama Yo, que está por ahí Nacho, no sé si hay alguien más, que es una compañía especializada en mobile marketing, es decir, representan a Shazam en exclusiva para España y nos representan ante los anunciantes y las agencias de este país, España y Portugal. Y Yo hace las dos cosas, o sea, lo que ha dicho Josh publicitaria, que es uno, publicidad dentro de la aplicación, pues claro, tenemos 29 millones de aplicaciones en teléfonos en España y casi 6 millones de usuarios al mes. Eso te da mucha fuerza a la hora de poder hacer campañas de publicidad, lo que llamamos normales, ¿no? Con banners o con cualquier otro tipo de formatos integrados. Y la otra pata es la tecnología, prestar o licenciar esa tecnología a clientes para hacer Shazam en televisión y ahora para hacer visual Shazam también en las otras, en todo lo que sea print, ¿no? Pero la estrategia es clara, es crecer en esa pata publicitaria gracias a nuestros socios de Yo, que tienen el equipo comercial que nos ayuda, ¿no? Y es una pata que, como decía yo, está creciendo. El otro negocio es más automático, el de la descarga musical y el streaming, y la publicitaria es la que está creciendo cada vez más.
All that world, connected world, I miss my car, my connected car. Are you thinking about doing some business agreements in this field or not?
So I think what you'll probably see is, I think Apple and both, so iOS and Android, I think are having those discussions. I think very much where Shazam is, we're very much a part of, actually Windows as well, which is something we just recently launched. So theory, wherever iOS goes, whether Android goes, whether Windows App Store will go, or the platform will go, Shazam will most likely follow. As you can see with the watch, Shazam was very much one of the first movers into that space. Google Glasses is another one where Shazam was, again, we're very much one of the first apps to go into that as well. So that's very much our strategy, to be platform and device agnostic. Wherever consumers are, wherever they're wanting to connect, Shazam will be there.
And certainly the car will be very important in the future, right? So we're seeing much more, I mean, apart from the hybrid, the electric cars, they are connected.
Connected cars.
Exactly.
That was
So, I mean, we will be there. Because, we used to use Shazam in the car, right? With the radio, with our kids or whatever, so we will be there.